Vishnupurana. Branches of SAMAVEDA, and 18 Puranas. Sage Jaimini, a disciple of Veda Vyasa, affected branches of SAMAVEDA. Sage Jaimini had a son, Sumantu. Sumantu in turn had a son, Sukama. Both of them studied a branch of SAMAVEDA each. Sukama divided his branch of SAMAVEDA into sub-branches and taught them to his two disciples Kaushalya Hiranyanab and Pushpinji. Hiranyanab had 500 disciples. Upon receiving the knowledge of SAMAVEDA branch from Hiranyanab, these disciples came to be known as Prakaya Samag. Disciples of Pushpinji also effected divisions in SAMAVEDA that they received from their teacher. One more disciple of Hiranyanab named Kriti taught 24 Samhitas of SAMAVEDA to his disciples. Sage Sumant taught Atharvaveda to his disciple Kaband. Kaband divided it into 2 parts and taught them to Devdash and Pathaya respectively. A disciple of Pathaya named Shaunak divided his Samhita into 2 parts and gave one of them to his disciple Vabru and another to Saindaf. Saindaf's disciple Manjakesh divided his Samhita into 3 parts. Presently, 5 Samhitas of Atharvaveda, namely Nakshatrakalpa, Vedakalpa, Samhitakalpa, Anjaraskalpa and Shantikalpa are considered authentic. Still unsatisfied by his achievement, sage Veda Vyasa created Prana Samhita, and taught them to his famous disciple Ramaharshan Sutta. The Samhita that was created by Ramaharshan was the base of 3 Samhitas Akritavarana, Savani and Shanspayan created by Kashyapayakshatriya Brahmins. Vishnupurana is in a way a summation of these 4 Samhitas. There are in all 18 Puranas. In chronological order, these are as follows: Brahmapurana, Padmapurana, Vishnupurana, Shiva Purana, Bhagavat Purana, Narada Purana, Markandeya Purana, Agni Purana, Bhavishya Purana, Brahmavaivat Purana, Linga Purana, Varaha Purana, Skanda Purana, Vamana Purana, Kama Purana, Matsya Purana, Garuda Purana, and Brahman Purana. Yamajitha. Maitreya said, Lord, at the end of a lifespan, all the people come to be controlled by Yamaraj. When they are bound to undergo scores of suffering in different kinds of hells. Kindly narrate about such action by which a human being gets free from the noose of Yamaraj. Parashar said, youngest among the Pandavas, Nakul had once put the same question before Pitamaha Bhisma. I am narrating what once Bhisma had narrated to Nakul. Before sending, Yamaraj advises his agents to stay away from the devotee of Lord Krishna. Yamaraj is lord of all the human beings except Vaishnavas. Only Lord Vishnu is able to control Yamaraj. About the devotee of Lord Vishnu, Yamaraj says, he who does not deviate from his duties even in severest of crises, who does not steal the wealth of others and kill animals is undoubtedly a devotee of Lord Vishnu. He who bears Lord Vishnu in his heart is a devotee of Lord Vishnu. He who is free from all kinds of ego and illusions and always wishes well for the others with pure and peaceful heart is a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Thus those who always contemplate on Lord Vishnu don't even fear death. Yama, Yamadut, Yamapash, Yamagana and even tortures of Yama are unable to hurt them. Duties of 4 classes of society. Maitreya said, Lord, how should one worship Lord Vishnu? Kindly describe it to me. Parashar said, King Sagar had asked the same thing from Sage Orf. I am narrating what Sage Orf had preached him. Only those who fulfill their responsibilities and discharge their duties, as per their class, can worship Lord Vishnu. Those who shun activities, like criticizing others, backbiting, womanizing, stealing others' wealth and violence, those who do not torture others, and are always ready to serve the gods, Brahmins and teachers are able to please Lord Vishnu. Similarly, One should be always conscious regarding his duties as per his class. Accordingly, a Brahmin should carry out yajas, study scriptures, and should not ever try to hurt anybody. A Kshatriya must organize yajas, and study scriptures. He should also make donations to Brahmins and take weapons, in order to protect the earth. A Vaishya must earn his livelihood through cattle rearing, commerce and agriculture. Besides, he should also organize yajas, make donations and study scriptures. A Shudra is expected to earn his livelihood through handicrafts. Saluting learned people is equal to organizing yaja for a Shudra. A Shudra may also make donations and oblations, to appease his dead ancestors. In the time of emergency, a Brahmin may shift to the occupations meant for Kshatriya and Vaishya. A Kshatriya may take the occupation of a Vaishya during emergency, but none of them should ever take to the occupation of Shudra. Description of different ashramas. Since birth till death, human life passes through different stages. For the purpose of simplicity, in following these stages, our sages have made provisions for 4 stages or ashramas in life, namely, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanprastha, and Sannyas. Upanayana Sanskara, thread ceremony, marks the beginning of education for the children born in Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya classes. For this purpose, a disciple must stay in his teacher's hermitage, and observe celibacy strictly. There, he must serve his teacher, and worship Surya and Agni. The disciple is expected never to disobey his teacher. Activities should be according to the teacher's guidelines. He should also make arrangements for the daily worship of his teacher, in the way of collecting different materials, like havan samagri, water, kashur, flowers, etc. After the completion of education and paying all the dues, the disciple is ready to start second stage of his life, that is Grihastha ashrama. For this he should first find a suitable girl from his class, and make merry. During this stage, he should earn his livelihood by occupations ascribed for his class. He should please the gods by yajas, his ancestors by oblations, Prajapatis by producing children, spectres by offering sacrifices, of cereals, and society by love. Even the ascetic and celibates depend on married people for their daily bread. Hence married life or Grihastha ashrama is stated to be excellent among all the ashramas. A Grihastha must welcome and warmly treat the guests who arrive unexpectedly. Such a household from where a guest returns desperately never succeeds in religious matters. All the worship and yajas offered in such a household go futile. Hence it is not proper for the householder to show ego and abuse a guest, otherwise he will have to expiate for it later. A person must always be on alert to recognize the time when it is apt to take vanprastha. When the children grow and begin to hold the responsibility of the household, one enters the third stage, that is, vanprastha ashrama. So, leaving his wife in the shelter of his children or taking her with him, one should migrate to the forest, and live a simple life, sustaining on whatever little is available from the nature. This stage must be passed, observing severe penance and restraining one's senses. Sannyasashrama is the 4th stage of life. One should give up all activities related to dharma, artha and karma in this stage. He should keep an impartial view for all, and cultivate a feeling of love for all the creatures. He should not hurt anybody by his words, actions or even thoughts. He should not stay in a village or town for more than 5 days. He should sustain his life on alms. Customs and consecrations. At the time of childbirth, it is the father's responsibility to carry out certain customs and consecrations for the child. First of all, Jatakama Sanskara is carried out, by which the newly born baby is included in the family. During this custom, a Brahmin couple is fed. It is also necessary for the couple that they should sit facing east while feeding. Thereafter, the parents should offer oblations to appease the gods and dead ancestors. Lumps made of barley flour, curd and berries should be offered as oblations. Similar consecrations are carried out at the time of children's marriage. On the 10th day after the birth, the naming ceremony is carried out. Different castes and religion have different traditions regarding naming the newly born child. It is commonly seen that most of the children are named after the deities and gods. Still, one should see that the name should not be meaningless, abusive or inauspicious. Practice of selecting exceptionally long and difficult to pronounce names should also be avoided. The second stage in a child's life is when he or she begins education. In ancient times, thread ceremony used to be carried out, and the children were sent to their teacher's hermitage for education. In modern age, thread ceremony is followed more or less in similar way as it used to be in the past. But children are not sent to Gurukul for education anymore. After completing education, a person should get married and run his own life. In the past, there had been elaborate rituals for the selection of suitable bride. Elders of the house used to select a proper match for the boy. Their choice in most cases depended on many attributes and bodily features of the girl. But in modern age, with increased interaction among the people, it is not possible to follow each and every custom related to selection of bride. Still, one should take care not to marry in his mother's lineage for up to 5th generation and in his father's lineage up to 7th generation. Description of righteousness. A married man knows the importance of following a righteous discourse. Married life is like a penance, in which a couple gives birth and raises next generation. A married man is expected to get up early in the morning and contemplate on religious things. It helps him to follow righteous discourse. He is expected to attend nature's call, in natural environment away from his house. Oil is considered the best means to wash hands. It should be followed by cleansing of the body. He should then offer oblations, wearing fresh clothes to sages, deities and his dead ancestors. Offering oblations to the sun, worship of tutelary god, and other deities follows then. If the household is having some cattle, the head of the family should himself milk them, and then wait for the guest. If and when a guest arrives, the head of the family must offer him a seat respectfully, and treat him well with delicious food and pleasant talk. In Indian tradition, a guest is regarded equal to a deity. He should take food only after feeding the guest. Evening time has also elaborate rituals for a married man. First of all, after finishing daily chores, a married man must worship with peaceful mind. It is also good for his health to take food early in the evening and retire to a wooden bedstead. Night time is considered suitable period for enjoying carnal pleasure. Here too, a married man should enjoy intimacy with his wife only. Sanctification after birth and death. Life on earth is like an infinite ocean, in which birth appears like a bubble and death marks the bursting of that bubble after which it exists no more. Atmosphere of a household is said to be defiled when a birth or death occurs in it. There are different sanctifying customs to be carried out on both these occasions. After the birth of a son, the father should offer oblations to please the gods and his ancestors, after taking a bath. When a death occurs in a household, close relatives should take bath and carry the cadaver adorned with flowers and garlands outside the village or well-demarcated cremation ground for cremation. As per the religious tradition of the deceased, the body should either be consigned to the flames or buried. Then the relatives should again take bath in the pond or river facing south and offer watery oblations to the dead person. Since that day, Pindadan, offering sweet balls made of barley flour, sesame seeds, jaggery and honey, should be done for 10 days. On the 4th day of the cremation, ashes should be collected, for immersion in holy places of pilgrimage. The person who had carried out the cremation must abstain from intimacy for 13 days. Outsiders are also barred from eating cereals, from such a household where a death has occurred. For the different classes of Hindu society, this sanctifying period varies. For Brahmins, it is 10 days, for Kshatriyas, it is 12 days, for Vaishyas, it is 15 days, and for Shudras, this period has been fixed for 1 month. On the same day, in every subsequent month, oblations should be offered.